So today I want to just talk about some of the things in your life that block you from being more physically active that you don't even realize are affecting you. And it's not about being lazy or unmotivated. It's about how you think about fitness and how you've set up your space and your lifestyle that really affects your activity levels. You're trying to set yourself up for success, to make fitness and movement as natural and as automatic in your life as you possibly can. So the first thing has to do with how you think about fitness. Most people think that fitness means I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna work out every day if possible, and that's how I'm gonna get healthy and fit. When they can't do that, or they can't devote an hour or more to their day in order to get fit, then they just don't do anything and they sit the rest of the time. The truth of the matter is that's not how our bodies are meant to work. And even if you worked out every day for an hour, that is not enough movement. So you need to change your thinking about this. You need to think in terms of micro exposures to movement. The more you move throughout the day, frequently at a lower intensity, walking, biking, moving around your house, cleaning, gardening, all this kind of regular stuff, the more you do that, the more healthy and fit you're going to be. Why this matters is because doing frequent movement throughout the day keeps your blood sugar levels low, which in turn prevents disease. And the other thing is, when you're moving often, it just keeps your body mobile and primed. You're less likely to get hurt if you come across a situation where you have to move unexpectedly or quickly or something. If you can fit in time to strength train and do dedicated workouts, then bonus, that's even better. But your first priority should be what I said is micro exposures to movement and moving throughout the day as often as possible. Just remember that your body adapts to whatever you're doing with it. If you're sitting all the time, it's going to be adapted to not moving. And then when you do go to move, you're even more likely to hurt yourself. The second thing that I would say is blocking you from moving more has to do with what you wear. For most people, they dress for sitting and lounging, not for moving. And that is a problem. Any kind of clothes that you feel are restrictive in any way, you don't want to rip them, or you don't want to get them dirty, or you can't bend down in them. Jeans, skirts, high heels, nice blouses and pants, this kind of stuff. It all looks nice, but it doesn't help you to be more active. It just acts as a barrier for that. So it's a pretty simple fix. If you want to move more, then make it easy for you to move more. Wear clothes that you can squat in, that you can reach up in, that you can sit on the floor in, that you can virtually do any kind of physical activity in. And there are lots of brands now that offer clothes like that. It doesn't have to be workout gear. You can find all sorts of things to buy that look nice, but also function for physical activity. And just a note about natural footwear, you want to wear shoes that allow your feet to spread out in the toes and that are flat across the bottom. I know high heels can look sexy and everything, but they are literally destroying your feet. So the next thing that is preventing you from moving more throughout the day is how you set up your home and workspace. If you look in your living room or anywhere around your house, it's probably filled with things like couches and chairs, things that take up space in the room that don't allow you to actually move around and do activity, but are calling you to sit on them and stay in them for long periods of time. If you looked in my living room, it is filled with all kinds of tools for fitness and yoga mats and rollers and kettlebells and weights and all kinds of stuff that I use on a regular basis every day, multiple times a day, to keep myself active inside my home. I have a gym in my basement where I do have equipment as well, but even as a fitness person, I'm not gonna go down into my basement very often. I need a constant reminder to move. I need to have the stuff as easily accessible as possible. It needs to be right there where I can see it in the spaces that I spend the most time. Well, I like to have my house looking nice too. You see houses in magazines and online and in all these shows and stuff, those spaces typically are not doing us any good when it comes to fitness. So we need to learn ways of incorporating our fitness into our spaces. Your health comes first, not how your house looks and how it's designed. If your environment makes movement easy and obvious, you'll move without thinking. The next thing that might be preventing you from moving more, I would call the expectation block. Most people, when they think about fitness, they think about working out. They put those two things automatically together. And when they think about working out, they typically think, I need to be in the gym or at home, and I need to be sweating, I need to be working really hard, I need to spend at least, 45 minutes to an hour and a half doing it. That's what they think when they think about fitness. And if you remember what I said at the beginning of this talk, you will remember that moving frequently throughout the day is, I would say, almost more important in terms of fitness than your actual workouts are. So if you change your mindset from thinking that being healthy and fit means working really hard to natural movement, to nothing that is too difficult, if you switch your mindset to understanding that those things are just as important as your workout, then you're more likely to value them and actually do them. Fitness is not about suffering, it's about consistently moving. That is how you build a body that lasts, and it's all about sustainability. And the last thing I would say that is preventing you from moving more, I'm going to call your nervous system block. Most of us like to wait until we feel motivated to do some kind of physical activity, but that is not reliable, and it's not about being motivated. It's about building movement into your day so that it is so easy and unavoidable to do that you just do it. Your body should be responding to the cues of your environment, not your motivation levels. I like to use what I call a 30-second rule, which means start with 30 seconds of any kind of movement. As often as you can throughout the day, get out of your chair and do anything for 30 seconds. Chances are you will probably keep doing it a little bit longer, but at least give yourself that start. And then once you make that a habit, then you won't even have to think about it anymore. Your body will actually crave the movement, and you'll just do it automatically. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need 90 minutes of sweating your guts out every single day. You need to remove the barriers in your life that make it difficult for you to move on a regular basis. Fitness will just be something you do.